Hi, my name is Kåre and I am from KnowGo, and I am here to tell you about the four main benefits of the process matrix and thereby the Mauritius machine. And this video will focus on the second of the four benefits. And all four benefits are only conveyed by the process matrix, and since all our competitors base their products on the flowchart, they will not be able to convey these four benefits to you. Now, the four benefits are to automate more, which I have explained in a previous video. The fact, secondly, that rules rule, which is the topic of this one. The fact that we can specify rules so that we can generate directly the execution from the rules without the costly instruction coding. And thirdly, that we don't introduce unnecessary bottlenecks that are not specified by the business logic. And fourth, that we provide a better progress overview to everyone. But for now, let's focus on the fact that rules rule. And to take an example why this may be important, for instance in the financial sector, which is regulated, a large part of it, by the Basel III framework. One of the things that you find there is that you should manage your credit risk, and in order to do so you must evaluate tediously some data elements that interfere with how your process should then progress. So what you see is that excuse me, it is very important to include the data model and all the rules and the formula of the data elements as part of the process specification to get everything there. And this is what the process matrix does. You generate directly from the process matrix. This is the example I will show you in a moment, the apply for money. And this is a real life example. It's not the same as the one to the left, but you see a lot of workflow steps here. But the point is that for this particular one step budget formula or budget form with totals versus version 1, it's called, there's this form, and most of the form is collapsed except for this group here, and this subtotal group, and this budget total group. And the point is that in the, for instance, this field in the subtotal group must be defined as the sum of all the budget elements up here. And so a rule will make sure that this field is calculated so that it's always the sum of these other fields. And this is very useful for financial and other rules as well. Let's then look at the apply for money, the simple case here, where you have 7 steps here to the left. You have 3 roles, you have predecessors, then you have 3 decision parameters, and you have 2 data elements here. And this example is explained at length in a different video. The point for now is that if you look at how it is specified in the designer, then instead of asking the person, are you rich, we will get that information and we'll set a rule here on that parameter, so that it is whether the applicant is rich will always be a calculated thing. And it'll be calculated, as you see here, as so it'll be true if the income is larger than the is rich amount. Otherwise it's false. And the is rich amount is defined elsewhere in the matrix as 100,000. And whether the applicant is in a hurry, in the other example on the video devoted to this example, we ask outright, are you in a hurry? But it's in real life you will deduce it from, say, this formula, saying that we ask instead, when do you need the money? And then you subtract now, today's date, from that. And if the difference between when you need the money and now is less than a certain hurry days number, then we conclude that you are in a hurry and set this variable to true. Now the hurry days number is defined as a column in itself to 10. And this is an example of 2 data elements, 2 decisions that are made based or derived from other data in the matrix. It's a simple one, and I hope you can see for yourself that this can be extended to real complex logic if you need so, but it will not be more complex than still every element is defined in its own column. And now to show how this works in practice, we will turn our attention to the apply for money. So what you just saw is that there's an is rich amount. We have chosen to show it, but you cannot modify it as 100,000, and the hurry days number to be 10. So let's apply for some arbitrary amount. Now if we earn less than 100,000, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12,345, then we are not rich. By default it will assume that we are not rich. This one is not checked, and we are not in a hurry. This one is not checked. So let's say that we're not rich, and let's see what happens if we say that we're in a hurry. And you know that in a hurry is if you need the money less than 10 days from now. Now it's the 12th of December, so if I specify 19th of December, that's within 10 days. Let's submit that and see what happens. Now then it concludes that we are in a hurry. I cannot say this, it's just read-only information which is tied to a data element which is defined as you saw before. And the other one will be checked if we say that we earn more than 100,000, like 123,456, and if I submit that, then it will conclude that I am richer than a threshold, and the other one that I am in a hurry. So if I say that I can wait until the 26th, I will no longer be in a hurry, but I will be rich. And you notice that it will now conclude that I'm rich but not in a hurry. And you see that the workflow corresponds accordingly to what you have said here. If you go into the details of the video that explains this example, you'll know that if I'm rich, there will have to be an approval step, and if I'm not in a hurry, I will get a normal payment, but first I will have to get to the approval. So here's the caseworker's step, and if the caseworker says that it is approved, then we'll go to the boss approval. And but so far it assumes that the application is approved, and thereby it will show a payment and not an express payment. Now if I go back and change my conclusion from not being in a hurry to being in a hurry, say I go back to the 19th and I apply that, then when you look at the case handling steps, it will show an express payment further to the approval. So thereby you see how it is designed, not just the workflow and the activities and the roles, but also the rules that are derived from the data elements. And this is why we say that you can go directly to the execution from the rules, in that we not only put the steps and the data elements in the grid, we also put rules on each data element, and since the data drives the workflow, then thereby you get to the point where the rules of the data elements determine how the workflow will progress. And that is why rules rule, and I hope that you got the point and thought it was interesting. And this is something that our competition cannot do without coding. They can of course do it, but they would then have to introduce coding of the rules in the instruction coding step, which is a step that we save. So thank you for your attention, and I hope that you got the interest of seeing more from the process matrix and the Mauritius machine. Thanks for listening and viewing.